Well, hello once again, everyone. I'm Pat Olson. As we continue along here on our CUSD YouTube channel, we sit down and went out with the superintendent of the schools along the coast, Dr. Tony Roehrick. Dr. Roehrick, thanks for being with us here on this pleasant afternoon, just a few days from the start of the school year.
That's right, Pat. Thank you very much for visiting with me today.
Let's first discuss this venture. This is something new. We've just created this YouTube channel, and those of you watching, get out there and spread the word around. We're hoping to do more of this sort of thing where we reach out through video, but talk sort of about how this process evolved.
Well, first off, the governing board, since I came to the district, the governing board has always been interested in improving the communication channels among our greater community. As you know, Pat, we have a new strategic plan that is in development, and one of the major components of that is our communication systems within the district and within the community. You and I spoke earlier this summer, and you had some great ideas about how to provide different ways for our community to access our communications rather than the typical written word. And so I was very excited by your proposal, and very excited by the opportunity to give our community a new way of gathering information and communicating to our community. So that's really how it was put together. It fits in greatly with our desire to be more open and transparent, and do so in a way that's a little more technology relevant in 2014.
Let's talk about the start of the upcoming school year, and I've interviewed a number of the principals to this point, and my question to them has been, how are you gearing up for the school year? Those have been from a site perspective. So from a district-wide perspective, as the superintendent, what kind of things go on in this office to kind of get ready for that first day when the kids all come rushing on all those campuses?
That's a great question. One of the things that happens in this office over the summer is to ensure, one, that our budget is aligned with our core mission of teaching and learning. And so I'm having meetings with senior staff over the course of the summer, looking at establishing their work priorities for the upcoming year, what challenges might be present, and how we will monitor and track those different projects and endeavors that we lay out for a given school year. Obviously, we're very focused on staffing, making sure that we have the appropriate, highly qualified, most capable educators in our classrooms and serving our kids in support roles. Beyond that, I'm working with the governing board to establish their priorities for the given school year. So just like students, just like teachers, we're just getting ready for the year, making sure that we have all the support infrastructure in place so that the first day of school is all about kids, and making sure that all that other stuff is in the background, seamless, and the more invisible that is, the better it is for everyone.
You touched upon staffing, and in all honesty, there has been some turnover in the district this past year, and even in some key positions. There's a new principal at Half Moon Bay High School, new principal at Cunha, new administration team really at Cunha. How do you go about, filling those roles, and do you have any concerns about, that turnover? Because there has been a decent amount of it.
Good question, Pat. We are always concerned whenever we lose key staff. Because we want to understand, is there something as a district that we could improve how we support our leaders, our teachers, to ensure that they want to be here and retain them. I think we do an excellent job of recruiting educators, whether they're teachers or principals. This past year has shown us that life is in flux. And the three key principals who left our district did so for a variety of reasons, but all three of those reasons, at the heart of those reasons, were other life events that were drawing them away. And part of that is, quite honestly, is that they're individuals that skilled and talented, but weren't really connected to the coast side in one way or another. And so in our recruitment, that was one of the key things that we wanted to make sure is that when we looked at folks, all things being equal, we wanted to make sure that we hired individuals that have a connection to the COSI and that are going to be here for many, many years. We promoted several people from within the district who are already committed to the district. Mr. Dooley from the high school, Martha Ladd from El Granada, Javier Gutierrez from the high school as well as an AP. And so we feel that we are positioned for very little turnover in the administrative ranks at this point. We have a solid team together. I'm very excited by the team that we have, not to take away from the qualities of the individuals who were here before, but they've made a decision in their life to go on in other challenges. Ms. Silvestri to pursue a doctoral degree and be close to that work in the Moraga area. Obviously, Mr. Lopez, life things, wanting to be closer to his core family groups in the Fresno area. And then, Natalie Zisco, who took an opportunity to go work in Hawaii. Not a bad choice.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a pretty good choice, isn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, all different things, but again, so the challenge for us is to replace quality people, and we've been able to do that through a very inclusive process. It's been very exciting to see that work from the announcements, working with the community to develop, what it is that they're looking for in their principals, through the interview process, and finally, meeting those people and putting them in place. Very exciting.
You had some, speaking of the word exciting, you had some exciting news back in June with the passing of Measure B, the parcel tax, which of course gives a good pump of income into the schools. What will that mean long term for Cabrillo Unified School District?
Well, first off, I want to thank our community for once again providing their trust in the district and in the district's governing board to utilize those funds in a responsible way. We understand that these are dollars that are coming out of our community's checkbooks directly, and that we understand that and will honor that trust. Pat, this is a really incredible gift that the community's given us. We all know that 2007-2008 was the last year that the state fully funded our schools. And since then, there's been cut after cut after cut. Last year was the first year the state put a little bit of money back on the table for schools. But that promise to go back to full funding is 7 or 8 years. And so last year was year one of 7 or 8 years to fully restore funding to the levels that we enjoyed in 2007-08. So the parcel tax extension with Measure B gives us another 5 years. Measure E terminates at the end of this year. Measure B will continue for 5 years. So that's 6 more years of funding from this point that will provide stable funding, that will provide a basis as the state slowly, incrementally returns funding to the schools. And what that will mean by the end of that parcel tax timeline is that we should be pretty close to full funding and being able to fully provide for the programs that we're currently providing and be able to hopefully provide some additional programs in our district that serve kids. So it's a real base of dollars that levels the playing field and ensures that we can continue to provide every program that we are today and thoughtfully think about how else we can serve students.
A couple times during the interview, you've touched on the governing board. Mm-hmm. For those that may not know, might be new to the process, how does your relationship work as superintendent with regards to what you do with the governing board? What's that like?
Well, the governing board is an important part of the public education system, not only in California, but in the United States. The basis and understanding here is that we have a lay board, meaning that they are not necessarily educators. Sometimes they are by happenstance, but these are public citizens who have an interest in ensuring that our schools provide the best quality programs for our students, community members who run and are elected to these governing boards. Now, their responsibility is to provide the direction, the philosophy, the policy, if you will, of how the district operates and determine its priorities and goals. My responsibility as truly the governing board's employee, I serve at the will of the governing board, is to carry out that mission that they provide. So it's my responsibility to ensure that we have the appropriate staff to carry that out. It's my responsibility to ensure that we have the instructional programs and that we're allocating our resources in a way that supports the mission, core mission of teaching and learning.
All right, Dr. Roehrick, appreciate the time. We're looking forward to doing this a few more times with you throughout the course of the school year.
Absolutely, Pat. Thank you so much.
All right, that's Dr. Tony Roehrick, the Superintendent of Cabrillo Unified School District. I'm Pat Olson. Thanks for watching right here on our CUSD YouTube channel.